Gotta make sure my lav's working. My hair is looking trash as usual. Yeah, let's get into it. Alright, hey guys, how is it going? Not just Travis Yo-Yo here. It's been a long time. Coming at you guys with another yo-yoing review.
You're kidding. Little punk tries to throw me off a train. We get into a fight and he falls off. Cops ask me why I did a thing like that. I tell them why. For 3 hours I tell them why. They don't believe me.
Alright, so this week we are playing with a new yo-yo. Before we get into this, I want to talk about, first, we're trying out some new stuff. I have this lav. Now, I've had this for some time, I just never used it because I didn't like the way the audio sounded. And I decided that this time I should just use it and just see what happens. You guys tell me if you guys like it or not in the comments below and stuff like that. Also, it's probably not going to change for a while, but it's fine, whatever. Anyway, so getting into this, today we're reviewing the Clyw Manatee as requested by a commenter, James Hackett. I was planning on doing this yo-yo already, but I got a comment as well, so that's double incentive. Alright, so quick background on this yo-yo. This is Riccardo Ferlini's of Clyw. He is an Italian yo-yo player, I believe. I actually met him at Worlds. I got a card signed from him, it's over there somewhere, and yeah, one of my favorite yo-yo players. Not really because of his performances or anything. I just like his tricks are just. You guys probably already know about how crazy his tricks are. They're just pretty insane, and I like his style of play and stuff like that. So yeah, Riccardo Ferlini's yo-yo. This is the Manatee. It's gonna set you back about $85. Recently, it just went up to 85. When I was getting it, I think it was like $80. So it's only like 5 more on that. But yeah, let's get into actually just how this yo-yo looks. All right, so this yo-yo, I got mine in the salmon color. Before I get into anything else on this yo-yo, you see these 2 dings. I got these when I was going out to film with one of my friends when I first got this in the summer, and I went out, it was over concrete, and I wasn't used to playing with this yo-yo yet, and I had a longer string, which was that was my fault, really. It was kind of dumb of me to have an extra long string outside with the yo-yo that I wasn't quite used to yet, so I was trying to do crazy more tricks that I do on yo-yos that I'm more comfortable with, and I dinged it. So luckily it still plays perfectly smooth and still looks pretty good. You can't even really see them now. They're kind of faded in just from playing with it. That may just be my eyes just adjusting to the way that it looks, but yeah. So you can see it's more of the splash. You got the pink and there's a silver splash, and also I'm not sure if you can see it, but there are these green splotches randomly across the yo-yo. So yeah, it's cool. It's mostly more on the inside of the caps and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. Also, we have the Manatee it says Manatee, and it's Riccardo Ferlini. You probably can't see that because it's a white lettering. And there's also a little Manatee logo, a little guy in there too. So yeah, once again, I really like that simple design in yo-yos where it's either on the outside of the caps or whatever's inside is very minimal and very chill. You're not looking at the logo all the time when you're playing. It's just a personal preference. I just like the way the yo-yos that look. It's not really it doesn't add or take away anything from the yo-yo, but I just like the way that looks personally for me. So now that we're past that, let's get into the specs. Alright, so the diameter of this yo-yo is 54.60 millimeters. The width is 48.12 millimeters, and the weight is 67 grams. Also, this yo-yo has a snow tire response system, which most Clyws come in with now anyway. I'm not too big of a fan of it. I don't really like that extreme response. So I have ended up purchasing a thinner string for this yo-yo. I'm using fat now, and I tried fat nylon as well. Fat was fine for me, and I like the softer feel of fat, so I'm just using fat. Originally, I usually use Kitty XL. Now I can use Kitty XL, but it's after a while, when the yo-yos gets played with for a week, and the string is getting to its more used stage, it gets really the heck. It starts to snag more, and it's just really annoying. I don't know if that's necessarily the response pads or if it's just the string, but that combination is really working. So I decided to use a thinner string for this yo-yo. Also, I'm using I changed the bearing. Now the bearing that I got with this was a regular concave bearing, but it was really lubed up, and like even with playing with it for like 2 months, like I stopped. That was also part of the reason that it kept snagging all the time, was because of the bearing, and it was really lubed up when I got it. I don't know if it's gonna be lubed up if you guys purchase one, but if you're having problems like that where it's like snagging all the time, it's like constantly coming up even when you just like pull it and stuff, I would recommend either just taking out the bearing, cleaning it, then re-lubing it with thin lube and then putting it back in, or just trying to play with it as much as you can, because it's, yeah. Or also just changing the bearing. That's what I ended up doing. I got a, it's one of those line bearings where it just has like a little stick in the middle, the line where the string holds. I had that in my kilter. It's actually the kilter's bearing, I think, yeah. I wasn't playing with the kilter because I had to buy some more response pads, so I just kind of put them in here, and it works great now, so. Yeah. So, what kind of play are you going to be doing with this yo-yo? Now, I personally think, this is first of all, also if I'm planning on going to PNWR this year, I may or may not compete, I don't know quite yet. Anyway, this is probably going to be my competition yo-yo for whatever next competition I go to, or whatever, yeah, competition I do in the future, whether that be Illinois State this year, or if it's Wisconsin State or whatever, or if it's PNWR, whichever one I decide to go to first. This yo-yo actually fits my playstyle a lot. Now I do a lot techier tricks, not really like extreme tech like freaking Ricardo, but like I don't do crazy tech, but I do I do a lot of slacky stuff. You guys may not see a lot of that stuff in my rookie throw sessions because I just don't have the patience or time to hit those tricks all the time, but I do. This yo-yo is a much stabler yo-yo than a lot of that I have. This is a much heavier yo-yo. It's 67 grams, and for a yo-yo this weight, it actually feels pretty nice. And unlike a lot of the other yo-yos where I've said like where it has somewhat of a larger weight but it feels floaty, this doesn't feel floaty at all. Like this is it feels like it's solid on the string, and I really like that about this yo-yo because a lot of the tricks I do, although they can be somewhat fast, they do require a lot more tech and maneuvering, and when it comes to that, even though some people say they would like a more floaty yo-yo for that, I personally prefer a stabler yo-yo that can, you know, handle like stuff that would make other yo-yos, like say my edge, like tilt a little bit more, my top deck like that. It's the strenuous, the strain of the string would make it tilt. I have a lot of tension when I'm throwing, and a lot of my tricks like have a lot of tension when they're being played with, so, you know, this yo-yo does conform to that really well, and that's personally what I like about this yo-yo. Let's get into another thing that a lot of yo-yos in the CYW department are very strong in, is the amount of rings in the yo-yo and their ability to grind. So this yo-yo has about like, say 1, 2, 3, 4 rings, as we saw again. So we can see there's the 4 rings, so you have this outer ring. This outer ring is completely useless, but it just looks cool. We have this inner ring. Now this inner ring is the ring that we use for pretty much everything. It can do finger grind, it can do claw grinds, thumb grinds, heck, it could do like, you could probably catch like a little finger grind like that if you really wanted to. I've actually done grinds like this before. I was just playing around at school and I did that once, and yeah, and then we also have this inner ring, which is completely useless unless you're doing horizontal finger grinds, and like most yo-yos nowadays, although they may not be made for it, like if you know how to finger grind, you can pretty much finger grind on most yo-yos unless the caps are filled in. So, I mean, that's not like a big, huge factor. Like it does decent horizontal finger grinds. They're not really made for that, but you can do. And also these regular little grinds like this, are also really great in this yo-yo. Once again, it's a very stable yo-yo. It's much heavier, so you can do a lot more without feeling like your yo-yo is going to fall off or you're going to lose spin. Yeah, the anodization is also great on this yo-yo. It's a much smoother yo-yo, and I've been noticing that a lot with CYW yo-yos. They have this weird, they have a certain feel to their metal that you just don't, I don't feel that in any other yo-yos. Because a lot of other yo-yos kind of feel a little bit more raw, and like you feel like this is metal, right? But this, although it feels like metal, it feels like a, I don't know how you, it feels like sanded down metal. I think that's the best way to describe it. It doesn't really get sticky when your hands are sweaty. Like it stays pretty smooth. My hands are pretty sweaty right now. My hands are kind of always sweaty. So like you don't feel that. It's kind of a hard feeling to describe, but yeah. Overall, all around great yo-yo. It is definitely a great yo-yo for the price. I would definitely recommend buying this if you have the money, no real complaints or gripes about this yo-yo, besides the response pad thing and the whole bearing situation. But yeah. Sorry, this was kind of a short one. There's not much to say about this yo-yo. Yeah, I just like it. It's a good yo-yo. I would definitely compete with it. It's definitely a competition grade yo-yo in my opinion. And yeah. So if you liked this video, James, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got the information you were looking for in this review. So we're kind of basically almost all the way through with the yo-yos. So I'm going to start putting the kendamas and cards that I have. I've been getting into cardistry, and I do still play with kendama, and I got some kendamas at Worlds as well, which I wanted to do anyway. I got myself a Duncan maple. Also got myself a kendama Yusei Dave Mateo Pro Mod. And also I got a, my friend went to Hawaii recently and got just a random kendama. I'm probably not going to review that because it's just a regular kendama, but sure, if you want to, it's going to be down there in the comments. Also, I have 2 decks of cards that I recently purchased. And so, Killer Bees deck and keepers. They're not red keepers, they're just the regular blue ones. So if you guys, anybody who's interested in that kind of stuff, you can comment down below. I'll put the list in the description if you guys want to check those things out. If you want me to make a review on them or talk about them, if there are tutorials or something, I will be happy to do that. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.
They don't believe me.